Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, and it is a special Wednesday because it is a not just a full moon, but a super full moon, and it's the super blue full moon. So it is the second full moon of August, and a blue moon only comes around, I forgot how many years, but it's rare. I won't sing Blue Moon to you, even though that would have been fun. We won't do that. So, today we are here to talk about a topic that, uh, in certain areas, is definitely considered an epidemic, addiction. And, here's the thing, everyone is addicted to something. Everybody. It's just a matter of, is it affecting your health? Is it affecting your wealth, your life? Is it affecting your relationships? But we're all addicted to something when you really get down to it. And it can impact every aspect of your life. Not can, it does. And it's just a matter of, what are the reasons? What are the purposes for those addictions? And what has to change in your life in order to not be addicted to whatever it is? So we're going to go through this. For today, the end, because it's the full moon, this is going to be a little bit more of an exercise as well. So please get out a pen and paper. Excuse me. Get out a pen and paper, because there will be times that I'm going to ask you to write down your answers. Not for me, but for you. And if you feel up to it, it would be a great time to release the answers tonight under the full moon. And that can be ripping it all up. It can be dissolving it in water. It can be even, burning it. So if you've never done that before, it is quite the process, and it definitely helps to let go of things. So as other people are joining us today, because I really want to make sure everyone's here and ready for the topic, here's the thing. Addiction, it can mean Candy Crush. It can mean Farmville. That was me a long time ago. It can be cookies. It can be stress. It can be shoes. It can be watches. It can be therapy shopping, retail therapy shopping. But it can also be victimhood. It can be other people's opinions. It can be self-sabotaging. It can even be looking at other people's approval. Always constantly chasing, being addicted. I have to have that approval. And yes, it can definitely be cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, smoking, sleep deprivation, staying up too long. That would go along with the binge watching TV shows instead of going to sleep and getting the rest that your body needs for the next day. And for the parents out there, it can be your kids. What does that look like? How many helicopter moms do we have here, or parents? So even your kids being addicted to knowing everything about what's going on with them. And hint, hint, that's actually addiction to control. But that would cause being a helicopter parent and then stifling, right, the kids, not allowing them to learn and live and experience the way that they need to. It's always good, and we talked about this last week with school, being a guide, right, and helping them, giving them a helping hand. But it's different when you're not even allowing them to experience. And then we have to question, whose fear is that? And are you creating the fear in them? But this isn't about parenting today. So I totally, yes, too watchful over. Yes, you can be too watchful over your nephew, but you can also watch from the sidelines and then help and guide when you need to. So yes, let's get back on topic. So today we're going to discuss what those hidden addictions are that are holding you back. And my intention is for you to have a better understanding of how to overcome them. And my goal is really to share a different perspective, a different view on life and how it can work. And even if you make a slight adjustment, just a slight adjustment, and allow a positive chain reaction to take effect, that would be amazing. So that's what we're going to talk about. For those of you new, I am Michelle with Moksha Grace Coaching, and I welcome you. If you know someone that needs to be here right now and listen to this topic, please make sure that you share, also like the video as well. So let's do our deep breathing. I think I always do a deep breath before we do our deep breathing. So let's all come together and be in the moment. So please, if you can, put your phone on Do Not Disturb just for the next 20, 30 minutes. Give yourself this time to be here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 deep breaths, hold, and then we're going to exhale. All right, so just follow along. If you want to close your eyes, go for it. All right, so in this inhale, I want you to think about how you're feeling right now. Big inhale. Let all of those feelings travel up your body. Allow those emotions to be seen and felt. Hold it in. And then big exhale. And then I want you to do it again. Big inhale. You may be bringing up feelings of nervousness, anxiety, overwhelm. Just let them come to the surface. And again, big exhale. And then think about those things that you might be looking at and going, you know, I could go do that and maybe watch a movie or do a puzzle or whatever. And think about why. Why would you distract yourself from just a good conversation? So big inhale in. I'm not going to let anything get in our way. And just big exhale. All right. Focusing on being in the moment and responding to whatever it is that's coming at you from in the moment is going to give you not only a better perspective, but the response is going to be different. I am not sure. Is my video choppy to anybody else? Just let me know in the chat. Thank you, Hel, for bringing that to our attention. All right, let me see if I can close some windows. Let's see. Hopefully I won't close this window. And then you guys will tell me if it's any better. Is that any better? All right. So yeah, just let me know if that's any better. Okay. Let me check the comments. Okay. Let's see. All right. So are we good to go? Can everybody hear me okay? You know, we're getting like a little tropical storm down here, so the winds are making things just a little crazy. So we'll see how this goes. All right. So again, get out your piece of paper and your pen. Still a little ticky. All right. Guess I could close and come back if we think that that's going to be good. Let's see. Let's see what my, okay. All right, well, we're going to go with it. Let's see how that works. All right. So addiction. What is the definition of addiction? Addiction is defined as a chronic relapsing disorder characterized by compulsive drug seeking and use despite adverse consequences. The word drug is used here. And for today's call, we're going to do drug, right? I'm going to add air quotes to this. What is your drug of choice. It may be cats, right? There's tons of people out there that just get a ton of cats. They love cats, and that is their distraction from what's potentially happening either in the world or in their own life. And trust me, I get it. In today's world, things are a bit crazy. And yeah, you can totally want to distract yourself from it. But is that the right thing to do? So distracting yourself from feeling something is different than focusing on what you truly want. There's two very different pieces of that, right? Because distracting ourselves means we're pushing against something. We don't want something to come up, to appear. And we've talked about this before, and if you've been with me for a while, you've heard me say emotions, feelings, they're just like your emergency lights on your car. And if you don't address those emergency warning lights, then what's going to happen? There's going to be a ton of trouble. Your car's probably going to die, or heaven forbid, it stops on the side of the road and you get yourself in a really bad situation. So and let me also make this disclaimer. If you are using something to numb yourself, a drug, and no shame, no blame here, but if you are using a drug and it's costing you your money, your life, your time, your health, your relationships, you should reach out for professional help. Not because I'm saying you're crazy, but because one, there's a safe way to wean yourself off of those drugs. And also, whatever it is that you do seek out for help, for professional help, should include some type of work. It doesn't have to be therapy, but some type of work that dives deep into what it is that you're trying to numb yourself from. And that's really the key, because if you can understand that and you can address it, then there's not going to be a need to numb yourself anymore. But if you just go from program to program and you're never addressing the underlying issue, then you're really not helping yourself. Capiche? So something that will help you get a deeper underlying issue and wean you off the dangerous drugs, like we talked about, is some kind of a program. But for this conversation, again, air quotes of drug, and what is your drug of choice? And listen, it can be exercise, which really is good for your body, but how much exercising are you doing? And why are you doing it? Is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of fear? Or again, are you trying to distract yourself from something, right? Evade something. All right. So let's move on. So here's some questions to ask yourself. I want you to think about what it is that you do during your day. And what are the distractions that come up that prevent you from getting the outcome from your day that you want to, whether it's being productive, whether it's feeling the way you want to be feeling health-wise or even mood-wise. Playing Candy Crush, buying those shoes, binge watching a show, right? What is that keeping you from? And think about when you are doing those things, what is the feeling that it gives you? So when you buy your 50th pair of sneakers, or you buy as I look around me, I'm kind of laughing. If you buy just one more shiny crystal, what is it that those things that you're buying, maybe obsessively or doing obsessively, what emotion, what feeling is it giving to you? Because that gives you an idea of what might be missing in your life. Then next, I want you to ask yourself, when you are doing those things, what should you be doing? What is it that you're trying to evade and not have to do? You're coming up with excuses of shiny objects that are distracting you to not do what it is that you really should be doing. and just jot those down. And then ask yourself, look at your list and ask yourself, what is it about those things? Why don't I want to do those things? Right? Is it that it doesn't bring you joy? Does it not bring you satisfaction? Are you looking for something else to fill that space, that void in your heart? And that can be a big one, right? When you are heartbroken over something, maybe it's grief. Are you trying to fill what's missing with these distractions, with these other objects, material objects? Or self-sabotaging, you're not doing anything, and so you're keeping yourself in this uncomfortable comfort zone and just allowing the failure to happen. When you're focusing on your kids too much, what is it about your own life that you don't want to focus on? And if you don't have the kids to focus on because they're being kids, then what are you going to have to look at? And that's the next question I want you to write down. What happens if you don't distract yourself? What is the worst case scenario? What could be possible if you didn't distract yourself and just faced it? Because here's another thing. It's never as bad as we think it's going to be, but we make it out to be huge. And just like, I don't know if you watched the after show afterthought last week, but we worry, right? And we build up these stories of what's possibly going to happen. And then when whatever said thing is that happens and occurs, it's never as bad as we thought it was going to be. And so we're just kind of making that up and worrying for no reason. So write that down. What are you afraid of facing and why? Now I want you to get really, sit up straight, kind of look at yourself, if you don't have a mirror in front of you. But I want you to really go, how long have I been doing this? How long have you been covering up these feelings, lugging them around with you from place to place? We bring ourselves everywhere we go. So how long have you been covering these feelings up when honestly they could have been handled, right? And dealt with a long time ago, if you had just taken the time to look at it back then. Now it's this big hairy monster, right? And same thing with the car light. When the car light first pops on, it tells you to check the oil. If you continue to not check the oil, that's when the engine is going to seize. But the engine's not going to seize the minute that the check oil light comes on. It's only if you ignore it. So in 1 year, 2 years, if there's no change, if you continue to repeat this pattern over and over and over again, where are you going to be? Will anything have changed? And what opportunities will you have missed? In your review of life, not to be morbid, but let's get real. At the end of your life, what are you going to look back on and regret? Are you going to regret the things that you didn't do? Are you going to be jumping for joy that you got that high score or grew the most in Farmville? What are the things that this is costing you by not addressing this now? And then let's end this on a high note. And in 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, what is your life going to be like if you free yourself, if you move past the emotions that are making you distract yourself from said emotions, if you don't have that stopping you anymore, what's possible? What is your best life? What do you want? Where do you want to be in 6 months? What do you want to be doing? What do you want to be feeling? When you're not distracting yourself anymore, when you don't feel you have to. What does that look like? And more importantly, what does that feel like? How's your health? What are you doing differently? What more can you be doing when you're feeling like you're living your best life? So the reason why I wanted you to take these notes and write these down is, one, I want you to consider it for the rest of the day. Think about it. But even that last question, that's your future self. And if you can get rid of the judgment and the shame, okay, this is where I am, this is what I've been doing, and just say, I'm going to do it differently. And what does that look like? And if you're ready for that change, then do it. Then do it. If you need help, if you need accountability, then I'll help you. But you got to book the call. We got to have a conversation so that I understand what's going on. And am I the one to help you? It may be something else that you need. I'm going to be really honest with you. Probably more honest than a lot of, well, I know a lot more honest than friends and family, because I'm unbiased. I'm just going to tell you from my perspective what I see going on from a eagle's view, right? From that higher big picture view. And when I work with clients, yeah, there's times I do call you out. Because if I see you hiding from yourself, or hiding from an exercise, or hiding from something, well, I'm going to call it out. It doesn't mean I'm going to force you in to see it by yourself. It means I'm going to do it with you. Because that's what my coaches did for me. And I know the changes that I was able to make, knowing that there was somebody walking with me. Have you heard that song, Trust Fall with Pink? Imagine a trust fall. I've got your back. I'm really, really glad that you were here today. And I hope that you found this very helpful. Please let me know how it goes tonight under the full moon, when you take those things that you wrote down that you no longer want to keep dragging around with you, and you want to let them go. Let me know how it goes when you release them. Be intentional about it. And remember that every day when we wake up, we have a choice. And it can either be a really, really good day, or a not great day, a bad day. You get to decide. So choose wisely. I will see you here, same time next week. I look forward to it. Have a good rest.